Hey guys, it's a crazy cricket in my video. I'm just gonna straight out and just ignore the big gorilla in the room, and that is free for interpretation. Either you wanna take it as the pandemic that's going on, or as the fact that I'm not gonna be that I haven't, despite the fact that everyone's in isolation, I still haven't taken the time to do a video. That's entirely up to you. But anyway, that I don't know how long I'm gonna do this series because every time I say a series, I never really get around doing it. So I'm just gonna not say that word and just say I'm doing all these kind of this is the kind of thing I do only for the IPL. Pick the best team of the season kind of thing. I've done that for a World T20, and then I've done it for I think I've been doing it for 20. I've done it for 3 or 4 IPLs by now. So this time what I've done is I'm basically picking an all-condition test team that's picked from the 12 test-playing nations, obviously. But the catch here is that I can pick only one player from each team. So it led to a lot of discussions on my part. I mean, I did a couple of teams, and then I realized that I didn't have a keeper going in, and then if I decide to slot in a keeper, that would mean that I would have to take another player out. For the weaker teams, you generally tend to think. I mean, the way I went about doing this was you try to take the 3 weak teams, or as I like to call them, the 4 weak team. That is Sri Lanka, West Indies, Sri Lanka, Zimbabwe, Ireland, and Afghanistan. These are the 4 weak teams. Sorry, not West Indies. West Indies fans. So these are the four poor teams, and I went about thinking, though Sri Lanka did win, but I just really think them as weak. I mean, they never really sorted out. But enough of that. So what I decided to think was, the powerhouses have enough players to fill whatever positions they have, and the weaker teams you just need to put their best players in, and it necessarily didn't work out. So this is how we're gonna go. So eventually I ended up working my team around the these were the 4 players that I knew at all costs that I couldn't get rid of. Funnily or ironically, as we put it, openers are the toughest breed to find, and the first 2 players that I could really nail down were the openers. One was Dimit Kauranaratne. I mean, playing in Sri Lanka, that guy goes on playing mammoth innings. I mean, the volume of runs he scores is not a lot, but he can play for 200-300 minutes easily, which is by perspective anywhere from 3 to 5 hours, which is a course of a day, which I'm fine. If I have one player who can more often than not play a day, I'm willing to take that in a test match, because it lets the more attacking players really do their kind of thing. The second opener that I went for was in the absence of Shakib Al Hasan, who without a doubt is Bangladesh's best player. The next 2 best players they have is Mushfiqur Rahim and Tamim Iqbal. Now, because openers are so tough, and Iqbal he's proven he can. I mean, he hasn't played in Australia, but that's mainly due to Australian security concerns more than anything. So I had to go for him. He was the better pick out of everyone out there, so I decided Iqbal. The other 2 was Afghanistan's best player without a doubt. Again, is Rashid Khan. Regardless, yes, he's gonna play the role of more of an off spinner than he's gonna play the role of a leg spinner. In T20, he's looking to contain. In the test, he has to be a lot more attacking minded. But in that case, who are you going to look at for Afghanistan? Out of the 3 tests they played, 2 of those Rashid Khan's had impact, and the other one is only because India is so good at playing spin. So I went Rashid Khan, and the other one is just the other guy, the guy who's really, really transformed his game is Ben Stokes. Just basically, he's won matches, I want to say, everywhere around the world. He's won in Sri Lanka on the basis of bowling. He's won in Bangladesh on the basis of bowling. He's won in South Africa on the basis of bowling. And apart from that, we don't even need to talk about the Headingley stunt he pulled off. And that entire World Cup, the reason why England have a World Cup despite those 4 years of preparation has to go for Ben Stokes. He just regularly bailed them after situation after situation after situation, and that's why. And Stokes has just learned a lot more responsibility, and he's just a game changer in all 3 facets of the game, and that's not easy to say in test match, as we all know. So these were the 4 guys I walked around. Coming in at 3, which was the hardest decision for me, was Shai Hope. There wasn't any other keeper, like I mentioned. The only 2 guys who were really good came in at 6 were De Kock and Watling, and for South Africa and New Zealand, their stronger suit is their bowling. I'm not saying that. De Kock and Watling are by far the best test keepers that you have, but at that stage, I can't sacrifice on the bowling, because are you telling me to pick a West Indies bowler, though Holder is number 1 ranked, or Kemar Roach, but Kemar Roach can't do things around I mean, he's good against left-handers. I think he's got the second best average against left-handers when it comes around the wicket. So that's another catch. It's around the wicket, he's got second best average after Stuart Broad. Obviously, he dropped out David Warner. So I had to go Shai Hope. I mean, I don't remember it. I remember the Headingley stunt he pulled off, but apart from that, Hope's really had a lot of, what do I say? He's not even the designated test keeper, but if anything, I had to go Brendan Taylor, and I decided, okay, Shai Hope. Okay, let's just hope he's going to hold on to us. Let's just hope, okay. Pun unintended there, that he was going to hold on to his catches. 4 and 5 actually just designatively picked themselves. 4 is the greatest batsman of all time, just Steve Smith. I mean, he's going to bat at 4. He's going to be leading the side because of the absence of any captaincy. But Australia can give him a ban for another 6 months or something, but he's going to captain my side straight away. 5 is Babar Azam. Babar Azam's been the best number 5, and he's been scoring runs everywhere. I mean, he's not going to score in India, but he scored in UAE. I don't think he's gone to Sri Lanka yet, but UAE, India, all same stuff. You don't really have to worry about it. So Azam at 5, Stokes at 6. I went, and then the 7th one was the Zimbabwean pick. There were 2 guys that were debating. One was Sikandar Raza and Sean Williams. Both of them have identical stats and are as identical as you can get. I remember Raza for almost pulling them out of Sri Lanka. He did it with the bat, he did it with the ball before Asila Gunaratne just came up and stole the match away. But Raza was a lot more potent in that game. Raza and Williams are also guys who bowl the ball in the same spot. But I was inclined towards thinking Williams because Raza is no more attacking in mindset batsman, but Rashid Khan's an off spinner for the most part. I don't want another off spinner in there. So I decided I'll go Sean Williams, who's predominantly going to take the ball away. And we know Rashid Khan's not going to do that. So Rashid Khan, so that's Sean Williams at 7, but there's a significant case for Sikandar Raza as well. Won't matter really. I mean, if you can tell Rashid Khan, boss, you're a leg spinner, then Raza. Because I personally prefer Raza a lot more than I prefer Sean Williams, but it's up to how the team management decides to do with Rashid Khan. That's Rashid Khan 8. And then the bowlers is fairly straightforward. You might be thinking, where's the Indian? You might think Ashwin, but I went for Bumrah. Bumrah's not been tested in Asia, but none of the... I mean, it's an all-condition team. If it's Rashid, then I do understand that Rashid Khan and Sean Williams or Sikandar Raza would have to do a lot of the heavy lifting, but we've got Stokes up there. Stokes can conjure some kind of magic. I mean, it's what I'm counting on. Or we could just say, let's play in England. In which case, I'm happy with Bumrah, Rabada and Bolt. Rabada is terrific. Last 8 months has been kind of a dip. It's been synchronized with South Africa's form and South Africa's dip in form, which it's okay. So Rabada is still one of the... I mean, he's a youngster still. I mean, he could still walk into an under 25 side for whatever it's what. I think it's 22 or 23. Very young. I mean, he was 19, 24 time in the age. You can figure it out. Bumrah again, very young. He's got that uncanny action. You would think Rashid has an uncanny action. He's not viable, but Bumrah's done it around the world. I mean, he was poor in New Zealand, but we'll put that down to injury. And Trent Bolt just... If there was swing and you wanted one guy to expose it, it would be Bolt or Saudi. Just go for Bolt, left arm angle. You don't have that anyway, so might as well put in Bolt. The 12th man, as you realize, I haven't picked the team from Ireland. It has to be Kevin O'Brien. I mean, look, I kind of understand that if you, even for a non-cricketing person or a guy who watches cricket once in a while, if you ask Ireland, the only guy he's going to say is Kevin O'Brien. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to put Gary Wilson in there. I mean, Kevin O'Brien was this country's first century maker. For that reason, at least you got to give him some kind of respect. So, and that's what I'm thinking at. So if you look at the team, that's Karunaratne, Iqbal opening, Shai Hope 3, Smith 4, Azam 5, Stokes 6, Smith captaining, Hope keeping. 7 is Sean Williams. How much ever I hate to say it, has to be Sean Williams. 8 Rashid, 9 Rabada, 10 Bumrah, 11 Bolt. Okay, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm not gonna say that word again. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. See you.